Is it just me? Or is it looking like nobody who had long-term dealings with Diddy is safe? Meek Mills has been hopping around social media trying to put out fires. J-Lo's block is freezing with all the mockery. TD Jakes was almost swallowed up in the controversy. And now Diddy's longtime associate just got charged with a felony, possibly in hopes that he will follow his employer's example. A lot of people have hinted at the possibility that Diddy is a snitch. In 2022, Kanye flat out called him a fed, and back in 2009, TLC's T-Boz did an interview on Monique's talk show and said this.
The record company, Clive Davis, we held them hostage like guns, the whole shebang. Yeah, it was like that.
Because, wait a minute. I want to make sure we understand.
Yes.
Guns?
Yes, guns.
With bullets?
With bullets.
Come on, give me the story,
I'm going to tell
baby.
you because TLC had generated on Crazy Sexy Cool $75 million, and they gave us $50,000 a piece. So I was like, what the hell? So, of course, Lisa was the ringleader.
Like, we need to go get our money. I need to know where my MF and money's at.
So, you know, she was locked up in the diversion center for burning down the house. And she was just like, okay, we gonna get LaFace and them girls I was locked up with, we gonna drive up there, we gonna take the guns. And then we had this limo driver.
Wait, she just got out of jail?
Yes.
Okay.
And we had the limo driver. And he was the getaway car. So we went up there and held everybody hostage, and Puffy was the one that snitched us out. Yo, B, yo, your girl's up here mad bugging, yo. And I was like, oh, Puff, why you gonna snitch us out, dog? But he called it, yeah, because we kicked him out of the meeting.
Well, wait a minute. Puffy, mind your damn business. Okay, go ahead, Sugar.
Oh, my God.
Now, whether it's Shine being the fall guy and Diddy walking away clean in 2001, or Biggie and Tupac having their whereabouts leaked, which led to Pac getting lit up 5 times in '94 when he was called to Quad Studio to jump on a track while Diddy and Biggie were upstairs. Or when Diddy allegedly badgered Biggie into ditching a major PR deal in London to go to a party on the West Coast instead, which ended with Biggie being taken out that same night. All roads seem to lead back to Diddy's mouth. And the idea that Diddy has loose lips when it's in his own best interest is not so far-fetched when you consider the fact that lately Diddy's been name-dropping the most important one of all to try to keep real trouble from busting down his doors. But this time, his name-dropping backfired big time. The rumors have been swirling about Diddy and his parties for years, with Diddy taking pride in the various celebrities who have boasted about how wild his parties are. Famous and influential people from various spheres of society, entertainment, music, athletics, even the religious sector have been known to show up, all because they wanted something they thought they could access at a Diddy party. Whether it was access to another celebrity, networking for roles, contracts, or even sharing the gospel, they all wanted something that Diddy had allegedly set himself up as a gatekeeper to provide. Choosing to look at a man as their source for anything instead of the Lord had led those same people to be embroiled in a public shaming that most spend their lives trying to avoid. They chose to believe that somehow a man was going to be the key to their dreams coming true. So they disregarded all the red flags that Diddy displays, whether it was trying to outshine the talent by hopping on their tracks or being featured in their videos, whether it was taking publishing rights from those same artists or disrespecting women by treating them as disposable. Even if they allowed it, the way Diddy has treated others who are part of the culture he claims to love is a depiction of how he truly feels about them, regardless of what he says aloud. Diddy has shown everyone exactly who he is, and because they want something that they have already been given, a lot have refused to believe him, which has in some cases led to them being reduced to bargaining their actuality or other things for their dreams, which never quite pans out the way they hope, because they've paid a man more than they can afford for something that the Lord had already given them. Because what some people forget in the initial excitement of recognition is that the only reason most were invited to a Diddy party to begin with was that their God-given gifts and talents had made room for them and brought them to the attention of others. So instead of remembering that they were already on their way to reaching their dreams, they allow a usurper to convince them that their success is dependent on going to a party, networking, meeting so-and-so. And for some, by the time they hear the music for "There's a meeting in my bedroom," whether they walk there or are carried there, the video has already started recording. And instead of being treated with the respect that their talent has generated for them, they're reduced to being party favors for people who revel in the kink of humiliating or trying to destroy those who have something that they don't. And though it may seem like those people have it all, money, affluence, power, it's not enough for them. Because although Jimmy has ribs and steak, Jimmy also wants a piece of your chocolate cake. And he'll say or do whatever he needs to get you to hand it over of your own volition. And once people place themselves in that position and give in to the applied pressure, they contribute to the creation of their own monster. So, after years of seemingly getting away with allegedly preying upon others and trying to play God in their lives, Diddy thought that he could set himself up as not just a gatekeeper, but tried to actually get people to call him God when he took on the new moniker of love. Now, everyone has heard the scripture, God is love. So by rebranding himself as love, Diddy set himself up big time. Diddy went from trying to play God in people's lives to actually trying to play God with lip service and throwing around phrases like God is the greatest, making a show of praising the Lord, but all the while allegedly continuing in the same deviant lifestyle of using others to fulfill his lust, whether it be for flesh, power, or glory. Aligning himself with known faces in the religious community in order to change the public perception of the type of man he really is. But he must not have gotten the memo that God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Now, we've all heard the rumors surrounding Kim Porter being taken out. And even if you don't believe them, we all saw how Diddy treated Kim, publicly dating other women like J-Lo and Cassie while still in a relationship with Kim and while she was pregnant with his children, completely disrespecting and belittling her. Even if she allowed that, it's not an act of love. And then to try to revise history with that Love album, calling his relationship with Kim an example of black love, was complete and utter crap. And on November 16, 2023, he went so far as to post on Instagram that working with Babyface on his love letter to Kim was a dream come true. Only God can orchestrate moments like this. Diddy had the audacity to act like God was co-signing things that are the complete opposite of his nature, because no part of how he treated Kim or any of the other people he allegedly used and discarded is in any way, shape, or form related to love. He tried to name drop God and it backfired. And later that night, news of Cassie's lawsuit hit the internet, and Diddy's world as he knew it was turned upside down. Because you know what God does co-sign is his word. There's a passage in the Bible that says God has chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and God has chosen the weak things of the world to confound things which are mighty, the base things of this world and the things which are despised, to bring to naught the things that are, that no flesh should glory in his presence. Now, leaving the allegations aside, you can tell by the way Diddy treated women like they were his traveling entertainment system, interchangeable and disposable non-entities, that he considered them weak. But for Cassie's lawsuit to be one of the first things to start the crumbling of all the things he prided himself on, tell me that's not the weak things confounding the things that are mighty. You mean to tell me that with all the supposedly wise people on his team, lawyers, advisors, someone actually thought that those allegations were going to just fade away like they've done in the past if they paid up? They thought that in this era, they could unring the bell by settling with Cassie in 24 hours. Now, if that wasn't foolishness. And now, Diddy and his team are in disbelief that something that they were so sure would fade away into nothingness is destroying the empire that was built on the broken, tarnished, and stolen dreams of others. It's very telling that of all the people that Diddy has supposedly helped through the years, his family is the only one that is seemingly prospering, while it seems like most of his associates are either locked up, checked out, stressed out, or wiped out. Cassie's lawsuit and Diddy's immediate payout was the start of an avalanche of similar cases being brought, from women and men alike, which definitely confounded Diddy's boisterous lifestyle. He couldn't celebrate his Grammy nomination, the Rock Nation brunch was canceled, and he had to lay low. Now tell me that it's not a foolish thing for a man who has built his riches on allegedly destroying the dreams of others, whether it was through taking artist publishing or acts of humiliation, for that same man to try to rebrand himself as the embodiment of love, not by changing his actions, but by telling people to call him love, and by putting out an album and calling it the Love Album. Basically trying to change the true definition of what we all know love is. So for the creation of this Love Album to be the backdrop of the depravity that Rodney Little Rod Jones Jr. described in his lawsuit, which has led to old videos resurfacing, old scandals being brought back to light, things that had many people just shaking their heads or shrugging their shoulders in the past, are now being held up as proof of that very depravity. So much so that in connection to acts similar to those detailed in the various lawsuits, Homeland Security entered the chat at the end of March 2024 with the raid of Diddy's East Coast and West Coast properties. Now that piled humiliation upon humiliation. Y'all gotta see that as a case of the foolish things of this world completely blowing up the spot of someone who considered himself so wise in how he played the game that he was in his own mind untouchable. And if he thought he could name drop God to cover up his depravity, you know he's been name dropping others throughout his life. But unlike others who have been silenced or sidelined in the past with threats or promises, Diddy ain't got nothing on God. And God's word does not return void. Let me know what you think in the comments. And remember to share, like, and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. Have fun today.